I charged $100 for this soup, and you won't believe how simple it is to make. One of my favorite things to do as a side hustle is private dinners. And because I've worked in 8 different countries, I'm able to offer my clients a variety of cuisines with a tasting menu experience. So for example, I served this soup as part of a 3-course tasting menu, and each guest was charged $300. Now let's get on to showing you how to make this simple soup, so next time you have dinner guests over, you can blow them away. So first things first is we're going to begin with 3 cloves of garlic. And here I'm simply smashing them with the back of my knife in order to remove the skin. And then I'll give them a simple rough chop. Next, I'll chop half a Spanish onion with the traditional dicing technique that you've probably seen a million times on YouTube. Now this doesn't need to be perfect whatsoever, as we're going to be blending the soup later on. Next, grab 2 medium-sized carrots, and here I have a humongous one and a rather skinny one, so this works too. And I'm gonna use a Y-shaped peeler as I keep the carrot flat on the board and rotate as I peel. And with this technique, I'm able to get through this task rather quickly. Next, I'll begin slicing these carrots into approximately 2 centimeter rounds. So next, you'll add about 1 tablespoon of olive oil to a saute pan or brasser on medium heat. Then add your diced onion, followed by your roughly chopped garlic. Mix that thoroughly and sweat until they become translucent. Then season with a pinch of salt, mix, and then add your carrots. Now really important is we don't want to brown these carrots, we want to simply sweat them like we did with the onions and garlic. Add another pinch of salt, and because we added the carrots, each time you add a different ingredient to the pan, you'll always want to season. So next we'll add about 2 to 3 sprigs worth of fresh thyme. Then we'll hit this with half a teaspoon of black pepper and half a teaspoon of turmeric powder. Then mix thoroughly before adding 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter. Now you just want to coat all those ingredients with that melted butter. Then here I'm going to add roughly half a liter of water. You can also use chicken or vegetable stock, but the water ensures that the purity of the carrot flavor will remain intact, which in this dish is kind of what we want. Now bring this to a boil and cover and cook for at least 15 minutes until the carrots become tender. As in, there's absolutely no snap when you bite into them, and in this case, they're perfect. So now we're ready to blend. Ladle the carrots into your blender and reserve some of the cooking liquid, as we're going to add it in increments in order to achieve a smooth consistency. So now I'll begin blending into a puree. And then I'll ladle in the cooking liquid. Now in this case, I used the entire amount of cooking liquid in my pan in order to achieve the consistency that I wanted. Now once smooth, I'll add roughly a tablespoon of lemon juice and continue to blend while I emulsify approximately 2 to 3 tablespoons of cold unsalted butter. So my soup is done, and now I'll taste in order to adjust for seasoning. Now at this stage, it might need some salt, butter, or lemon juice. It's really up to your palate to decide, but what you're looking for is a rich soup with tons of pure carrot flavor, rounded out by the acidity from the lemon juice. And here is my carrot soup, and as you can see up close, it's almost aerated, and this will offer a lovely texture to your palate. And the reason for this aerated light texture is because we added water instead of heavy cream or stock. Next, we'll make our garnish, which is a brown butter infused with fennel and toasted sunflower seeds. So in a saucepan on medium heat, add roughly 1/8 of a cup of unsalted cold butter. Now once it's completely melted, add your raw sunflower seeds, and as the butter foams up, you're gonna continuously swirl your pan. Now, this is where the magic begins. the milk solids from the butter begin to caramelize and turn the butter brown. And at the same time, the sunflower seeds are going to cook and almost roast within the butter. So as you can see, the butter is starting to foam a lot and it's beginning to turn golden brown. Now this is the point where you want to turn off your heat and add roughly half a tablespoon of fennel seeds. And here is our beautiful brown butter mixture. And brown butter is completely different than regular butter. It's really complex, nutty, savory, and even sweet. Now finish with a pinch of salt, and lastly with a spoon, we're going to remove this foam here from the top of the butter. And finally, we'll add some chopped dill to this brown butter. On my actual tasting menu, I would have a second garnish with this soup, and it would be a dill vinaigrette. But our carrot soup here has a good amount of acid in it, so we'll just use some dill as a garnish. But leave a comment down below if you want me to make a video on that specific dill vinaigrette. So now we're going to plate. So begin by adding a few ladles of your soup to a bowl, and then really naturally, we're going to dot with our brown butter, sunflower, and fennel seed mixture. Finally, we're going to garnish with some dill or fennel fronds. And when plating, you always want to make sure you're plating naturally and not in a logical manner. So a few words on plating, which an amazing chef Kotaro Meguro taught me, is that you want the plating to look natural, you want it to be compact, so you want things close together and tight, and you also want to plate in odd numbers. So for example, if you want to plate certain veg or meat, you want to make sure you do it in quantities of 1, 3, or 5. For some reason, odd numbers just look a lot better to the human eye than if we were to plate even. So keep that in the back of your mind next time you're plating. Now if you like this soup, then you're definitely gonna like this salad right here, which will also make for an amazing side dish. So check that out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.